All right, we're going to start with an easy assignment, and we're going to first download the Ducky Peppers that's on your assignment. You're going to select them both, drag them to your Photoshop icon. You may have to, if you don't keep your Photoshop on the dock, then you might have to go ahead and open it first to see it there. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to zoom in on it a little bit, and you can do that in different ways. You can also do Command plus. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to be inserting the duck as if it's part of the peppers. So this is a lot about your selection tools and some layers. So the other thing we're going to do is over here in this background layer that we see over here, we're going to select, double click on it and name it. Let's go ahead and do it pepper 1 so that we know which layer we're on. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the selection tools. They're all over here on this side on the top left, and all these up until the crop tool are your selection tools. All right, so we're going to use the magnetic lasso, which is an easy first one to start. So select it, and then it's always good to be kind of zoomed in so you can go ahead and select. And the magnetic lasso is going to select like pixels. Once you start, it's going to say, oh, okay, they want me to stay in between those two kind of values. I could change this to black and white and it would work the same. So it's different values, whether it's color or black and white. All right, so I'm going to follow along, go a little bit, and then I'm going to click, because that way when it gets a little bit difficult on some curves, I don't have to trust it to do it. I can kind of do it. Like those greens are very similar. So I'm going to kind of just checking it by clicking a lot, making a lot of clicks and not depending on it to just do it all. If I keep going, it may skip around and go somewhere else. So a lot of clicks, even though it is magnetic, kind of going towards it. All right, now when I get to the end of this red pepper here, the bold part, I don't really care as much about. So it's okay. I'm going to take longer ones, and I don't care that it's going to go across this parsley because it's not going to matter in what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to click, get the marching ants around it, and we're going to talk about fixing selections in another assignment, so I'm not worried about this right now. But what I do want to do is I want to make a copy of this layer. So I can go to Edit, Copy, and Edit, Paste. And now look over here at our layers, what it did. It made a copy of just my selection, as rough as it is, kind of. But we're not worried about that as much for this assignment. All right, so that's what we're doing. We're making selections, and that's what it did. I could also do Command C, Command V for copy and paste. All right, so now I've got two different layers, and that's what I wanted. All right, now hop on over to Ducky over here and zoom, same thing. Go ahead and zoom up so that you can make some selections here. Now we're going to hold this down and we're going to use the magic wand. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the pink. Now look up here on your tolerance level. All right, this is important. So if you're selecting too much, it's not doing something right, then you're going to want to fix that. You're going to want to raise it. If you raise it to 50, it'll select fewer. So if you're getting too much, if you take it to 50, it's going to accept more. So it might even come into this yellow if I do that. But if I do less, if I do 10, it may not even get, there may be some different tones in the pink it won't get. 32 is a default, and that's a good average. So the first thing I want to do is go to Edit, and I want to delete. Oops. I just usually just delete on your keyboard. Just delete. Then it comes up with content aware. You don't want to select content aware. Content aware means it'll repeat the duck or something, and there's a reason to use it, but now is not it. So change it to white, because what we want to do is kind of match that background. So select OK, and then you can still see a little bit of a halo on it out here. All right, so go ahead and select I'm sorry, select out of it by Command D, or you can go to select, deselect. All right, now I can still kind of see that ring around it a little bit. So we're going to first try the magic wand again and go ahead and select all the white and see if it selects all the background. And it does pretty much, even though it's got some other stuff here, those tones are so light, it's still selecting all of it. All right, so again, now I don't care really about this background. I want to select the duck, and right now it's only doing the background. So I'm going to go to select inverse, and now it's selecting the duck. All right, and that's all I want from here. So I'm going to drag my tab out of the window, and I'm in my arrow, my top cross arrow, and I'm going to drag the duck on top of my peppers. Now, see what happened here? I lost some of the eye. I didn't even notice that. So I'm going to go back to my duck. I'm going to throw that one in the trash. And to get your files behind here, so sometimes you have to look behind. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go backwards. Just go to edit. All right, so it's right there. It's selected. All right, so what I can do now is, actually I'm going to bring this back on my tab so it's easier to see. Okay, so what I want to make sure that I does not get selected. So I can go to my selection tool, my lasso tool, and we're going to get more into this, but some of these are minus. You can also do it by your keyboard, and I'm going to circle that to take that selection away. Well, and I actually added it, so I'm going to actually do it opposite. There you go. All right, and we're going to get into those in another assignment. So now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to bring the ducky over here. I'm going to drag her on over here. Now she's got both her eyes, so she looks healthy. All right, and all I'm going to do is put her in between these layers and kind of resize her if I want. And the way you're going to do that is to go to Edit, Transform, Scale. I may want to make her a little bit smaller. And in the new versions, you don't have to hold the shift to make it in proportion. And so you can see my selections could have been a little bit better, and we're going to work with that in the next one. But basically, now I have a layer, I have a duck and a bull, and that's all you need. So now we're going to save as. And we're going to save it as peppers with your name. So I'm going to add my name to it. And I don't want to Photoshop. You can't change it up here, though. You're changing it down here to JPEG on the file format. If you don't change it here and you just do it here, it really doesn't change. It'll give you your file an error. It's still a PSD if you don't change it here. So change it to JPEG here and click Save. And then we don't need a maximum, just a medium is fine. Select OK. And now it's going to be, you can decide where you're saving it. Mine is in my downloads. And now if I double clicked it, there it is. And that's what you're going to upload to your assignment.